Chronicles TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the previous episode, we completed part 3 of the investigation. Today's episode, we're in part 4 of the investigation. If you have today's episode, make sure to like, push channel because we're going to investigate this freaking shop. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now, to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? You should go home and get some rest.
Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship, how? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get the stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is.
I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Chug, 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 chug. Ah, lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigate the scene of the crime then? Do what you please. You know where it happened, though. The door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windybag and Gina. Alright, well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever. Even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the Yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Stronghold meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. How much you want to bet they're connected?
Come on, Dan. Let's not waste time
any time. I don't know how I messed that up big time. Constable, what is the matter? Let's check out the bloodshed. Ah, look here. Jesus Christ.
Yes, a bullet hole, and I could see the bullet still lodged in the wall.
Presumably, Mr. Windybag wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. You know what's crazy? This guy kept fighting himself to commit suicide, and yet the day someone killed him. Which is dumb. That was a poor joke.
Ah, well. Mr. Sholmes likes to practice his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic with that.
Sorry?
It's all there in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris? Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite dangerous pastime.
He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once.
Forget that now. For now, Runo. Let's examine the bullet.
What's that around the bullet? Blood? Is it? Yes! Suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Aha! I may be able to help with that.
What?
There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo?
I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris.
I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it. You see, when it comes to blood, we're all different types.
A, B, A, B, O. Yes, what a scientific observation.
So you need this.
Oh no, what is that scary-looking thing?
Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does.
What? Okay, it turned green. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed.
There, does it make sense now?
Yes, I think I'm starting to understand.
Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see? Yes, how wonderful. The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at. In Flash, Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Genie would say it's bleeding great.
So, whose blood are we looking at then? It may change the color, but we don't know whose blood it is.
Well, all the chemical does is turn blood a different color, so...
We just tampered the crime scene.
Just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to in a flash.
It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it?
1 flash or 2. This could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make note of it.
Alright then.
Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as our regent left, sure.
Okay, what did we get? This is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think when Mr. Shaw gleefully showed it to us yesterday. We were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. You're not gonna look at it? But we do have security proof, so that could be helpful. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I can get close again.
Oh, yes, it's a folding stereoscope.
Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Shaw showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. 3D! But for that, he used the great contraption over there.
Ah, well, that for sure in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel and all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is much simpler designed for use at home. There are special shops selling prints so you can use them. I have a little collection myself.
I wonder if I could make money out of these in Japan. It would be beat keeping my toilets sparkling clean, all anyways.
Shall we have a listen?
Okay.
What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
It's beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy had to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. Okay, let's look for any more blood samples. What the hell happened here? Let's talk to these guys. The itch of this place, by the look of it. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and books of accounts. Every article? But that's ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're shifting through all the shifts at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure, and even then we'll barely have scratched the surface. Crime and the pawnbrokers. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare. That's every copper's worst nightmare, you know? A crime and the pawnbrokers. Yes, sir. This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came here. Shh, keep it down. Oh, sorry. It's a major clue that's just here. Is that the one with the blood that we just did? Wow. Haha, they really have a tough time, that British police.
That doesn't stop us investigating, though, does it?
No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it's the calendar he was peering at. That we already investigated. Okay, but where's the cameras that we saw? Like, I know there's cameras in this freaking room somewhere, but we never got a chance to investigate. Were we able to move from point A to point B? Where is said place? Oh, I guess what we just gotta do is just press the thing.
Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said?
Yes, and that's where I saw the dreadful scene last night, through the little window in the door. Mr. Windy Bank face down on the floor, with Gina beside him.
As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough investigation.
Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door, that's That's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry, if there are clues in there, I'll find them.
Okay, can we move to said location? There you go. Going in. #16 April, Windy Banks storeroom. 4 p.m. I'm assuming. Poor Iris. She climbed up completely.
Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windybake's life was taken in this very room only last night.
I wonder if we can find the manuscript. Gregson! Ah! Wait, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jump up into the fence lawyer, do ya? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her.
So you weren't running away from me. You were running away from 10-year-old.
Great.
I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector.
Ahem. Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead. Oh my god. You made it worse, Chief.
I don't think that way went very well.
Why? Look, I'm in the middle of investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet.
And we have investigating to do ourselves.
Yes, and I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say.
Oh, Hurley.
And inquire into how Mr. Shump's operation is going. Let me investigate this place, please. I want to see if we can find the freaking manuscript. Look at these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them.
I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instrument, even some enormous paintings. Look!
Pieces of different people's lives quietly gathering dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. That it's not a mess. Or at least there would be if there's not a chalk outline on the floor and a policeman shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, Sunshine. Alrighty then. Let's see. What else can I look around? Out of all the articles in this storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. What is it, Iris?
That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh.
Iris' unpublished story? The Hound of the Baskervilles?
Surely that's not what all this... Sorry, Iris, if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. We must check inside the box, at once. Yes.
Did you find anything?
It was there! Iris' story was there!
Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris?
Yes. I mean, of course I believe Hurley when he said he deposited here, but still, it's a relief to actually see it.
Really? Because that's not a very well-hidden frown. Yay! But we still have yet to identify why she got it. How she found out. The keys, stuff, the gun. This is the revolver. A real one. Is that the one the big guy was using?
Quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windybake's life. What's the matter, Susie? You and Runa look like you're about to faint. Well, it's just that I rarely see a gun in the flesh.
And I've had issues with guns in the past. But Anyway, we saw Mr. Windybeck with it yesterday, didn't we? So that's his gun. I shall take my life. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, that was the gun, same gun I saw in Gina's hand.
Mr. Windybeck told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in the revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun has been fired.
So we can be certain that the only single shot was fired from this revolver. So there had to be another one that the prime suspects were using. The police marked the position on the body with the chalk line. So I'm assuming the blood back over there is Holmes and this is his.
Poor Mr. Windybeck. He was a nice old man.
Well, he was just shot once to the heart. Most likely the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing.
Way to go, Gregson. Way to go.
This must be his blood then.
Ah!
Use your invention.
I don't like to ask much at wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action.
The gun back over there is freaking Herlock's, and that's his.
So, now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Windybeck's blood.
It is blue.
It doesn't match our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop.
That's freaking homeboys.
No, but let's add this sample to the others we already collected.
We only have 2. So far. Iris?
Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, back to the investigation. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Pshaw, you got my eyes, haven't you? Use them! It is what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand?
So, Gregsy, what do you make of the crime scene here?
Oh, yes, your ladyship. Do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. One and only door to the storeroom was found locked from the inside.
So it was locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing?
Quite right, Ram. Quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as humbly as possible.
Oh!
As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor. Twas wise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile-gutted child.
Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector.
Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand.
No.
Presumably the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well.
What? The key to the storeroom?
Wrong voice.
And you said the storeroom had been locked from the inside?
Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship friend. In something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that all solves a misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is.
Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley and his operation finish? Is Hurley alright? Is he?
The thing is,
Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Holmes is...
No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well...
Out with it!
Yes, ma'am. They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetic? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep.
Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we could just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction.
The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my mean. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod up, or so I hear. And now the op's finished. They can't get him to wake up, apparently.
Oh my.
No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in the system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes around again.
Hurley.
The moment he opens his eye, your ladyship, I swear I shall get the word to you.
What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way.
What's there to look?
We check that, we check that. We check that, we check that. What else can we check? Might as well examine. What do we got? That could be Homeboy. Herlock. I can't find anything out of place. That's not what I was going for, Chief. Ours as well as signature is right there. Yo, what's this? Look at the back of this print here. There's something written on it. 13th February, 9 p.m. Article deposit, 1 small box. Loan amount paying 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13 April, 9 p.m. So this photographic print is a redemption ticket? For an article that was deposited 2 days prior to the incident in the omnibus, it would seem. Yes, a small box. That doesn't tell us much about it. Does it? Perhaps it contains some valuable mementos. I can't help wondering. Presumably Mr. McGill never redeemed the article in question since he still had the ticket. So it isn't possible the box is still present somewhere in the shop? Ah, yes! If it's something McGill deposited, we need to investigate. But what exactly are we looking for? Ah, better, clearer picture. Mr. Windenbeck appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written everything neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything in hand. Blah, 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 article deposited 1 small box, 10 shillings, redemption deadline, blah, blah. In receipt above mentioned articles or articles, it's hard to know where the front and what's the reverse side now. Do you know anything about this, sir? Inspector, what do you make of this? Ah, what have we here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was on hand. Yes, this ticket for McGildick's overcoat, the one that little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do ya? No, I didn't mean to, Bruno's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket.
Oh, of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about then, if I might be bold asked to ask?
This is a second ticket.
A second one? It seems that Mr. McGill in fact had another article in storage here in Wendy's bank. Is that right?
I think we need to discuss it further with the inspector, Mr. Naruto.
Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Hey, we got that going in. Let's go. I just made a big old guess. This is a ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGillicud's overcoat. You mean to tell me? Yes, there was one more than just the music box sticks, it seems. We never found out what was behind that one note. I should never have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examine it properly.
Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGill deposited another article here in the Mr. Windy Bank.
Yes, I could see written here. A small box. Isn't the one in the corner right there?
Do you have any idea where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. It would be an important clue.
Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Please stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose my marbles, I go barking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
Oh yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months.
So the
small box will no longer be in here then?
That's right. It's been forfeited.
Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale.
Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. There are dozens of little boxes out there, hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. The information not written in the ledger.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. Alright, let's exit out. Move. Back to the main shop. Okay, what could be considered a freaking box? There's the article ledger here and Mr. Winnipeg's notes. And, what's this? It looks as though someone left a little photographic pic behind.
Look, at the back, there's some writing. Is there? Oh, show us, Susie, show us.
Another one? 15th February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposit, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, it's that one. Pawn for £1. Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think...
Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday.
And is she still wearing it? Which belonged to McGilded. I would never expected a redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of the photograph though.
It seemed Mr. Winnipeg just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have.
But this photograph of the cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I'm seeing this exact same pictures. We already did the thing.
It's the same as the one Jeannie gave us earlier.
Of course. I was forgetting that she gave us the print.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Alright, let's the cogs turn.
Yes, they are exactly the same. Heh, I've got it. These 2 photographs hide an amazing secret.
A secret? What does she mean?
You must tell us, Iris, at once. Heh, do you really want to know?
Yes, we need you to tell us all you know. I think we just skipped the thing. I'm just gonna look around, please. Thank you. So what was the box he was talking about?
Yes, this is where all the items have been forfeited by the original owners offered for sale. That's right, they've all got little price labels on them, but there are so many.
I wonder if the small box ticket was for still on the shelf somewhere. The box that McGill deposited here just over 2 months ago.
Even if we're finding it, promises to be very troublesome indeed. There are so many boxes, it could be any one of them.
Mr. Shum said the pawnbrokers was the safest place to store anything, more secure than the bank's vault. So perhaps a small box of McGilda contains something of very great value.
Well, if that's the case, he probably have kept it locked.
So then we need to find every box with lock and break them all open. Ah!
That sort of misconduct would get you arrested. I won't let that happen.
This takes me back. It's been some time since Sasadoth last threw me. Trumpet. Anything look out of the ordinary? I mean, these are boxes as well. Cacti, boxes, more boxes. Chest right there. Whatever. Back to the conversation in hand. So, Iris, about these 2 photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Winnipeg's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is the amazing secret you meant?
Actually, that's not quite right.
Sorry?
If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
One of them is a copy?
Have another look at them now. Can you see they're just slightly different from each other?
I think so. It's very subtle, though.
But what's the reason for the solid difference between the two prints? Ah, well, it's because they're a set, you see. The pair of photographs is meant to be used as a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment.
Ah, Stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently?
Oh yes, that's what Mr. showed us yesterday. You see, there it is, just over there.
Yes, of course. That's a magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
Hehe, well actually... It's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions.
What? Really?
Do you know how a pair of flat photographic pictures can appear to have any depth in the first place? Nope, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful, then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon. Bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene.
I, for one, simply have to know.
Let me get to the straight. Let me do this. Can we do the thing here? Please? Can we just do the thing? Get to the point, Chief. Can I just do it without her telling us? Can I? Okay.
Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us?
Well, I just opened them and it works.
But the reason it works is because we have two eyes.
Two eyes? Wow.
If we try closing just one at a time, I think you'll see straight away what you see with your left and what you see with your right are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly, in your head, your brain uses the shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense the depth in everything we see.
Ah, my brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me.
Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consists of a left eye view and the right eye view. Is that right? Well done, Susie. You're so quick.
So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'll be able to see depth in these prints.
Yes, Runo. You're beginning to understand.
And the stereoscope's function is to act your brain and allow you to do that.
Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
You can? Really? Tell us how.
Let's try it. Let's see if you can view the pair of prints without the help of the stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go.
Sao-san really loves this kind of thing.
You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that?
Cross my eyes? I think I can.
Watch me. See if you can copy.
Oh my god!
Make your eyes do this. Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruto?
Oh my god!
There! How's that? Wonderful, now it's your turn, Runo. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose. On both sides at the same time.
Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at me. You're cross-eyed.
Alright, that's enough practice. Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eye.
3D!
You should see two overlapping images like this.
3D!
You try it now, Runo.
I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose. I'm not even doing it.
Did the print split into 2 images for you? Now the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then try crushing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together until they form a new single image in the center. Oh yes! It's Naruto, it worked! I can see it in the middle now. It looks so real. Oh, I can look at it all day.
I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Runo.
Do I really have to?
Pretend you're looking through the 2 pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the 2 images overlap exactly in the middle.
Like this, is it? I'm not doing it. Game, do it for me.
There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Scopic. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary.
That was a waste of time.
So what do you think of these stereoscopic footprints then, Runo?
They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the lack of viewing them properly.
Now, some people find it easier than others, but that's why contraptions like these exist, for people who find it tricky.
It's a thing that we just saw right now and investigated that we couldn't do.
If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, then set the pair of photographs in the stand at the back, and
it's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently.
But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them.
But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case.
Stereoscopic pictures. I never heard of them until yesterday. Well, certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. Okay, but we just skipped like 5 minutes of just trying to figure it out on things. Oh my god.
It's a Naruto. I don't know if you noticed, but there's something rather troubling here.
I've noticed.
The red smear, you mean?
Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if Susato-san had picked it up on that one. Well, in this case,
Yes, we need Iris.
we should show this to her before we forget. Thank you! Present bloodstain.
Oh, that looks like blood.
I would say it's from a gloved finger, almost certainly a glove made of leather.
Well, don't worry, Runo. You can leave the rest to me.
Pink? Purple?
A color we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add to the portfolio of blood samples. Although it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point.
Well, this particular stain of blood.
Oh, you have an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is?
No idea. How could I? We don't have a known sample of the same color without that. It's impossible to know.
Oh, how very vexing. I wonder,
What?
well, it's true that the color doesn't help us. But what about considering how the mark came to be in the first place? You might have an idea about that, might you, Runo?
Not if you keep staring at me like that, no.
Let's try that again, shall we?
Well, this particular stain of blood. Oh my god. I'm just gonna make a random guess. We're not gonna be penalized whatsoever. Deduction?
Oh no. You're first, Reno. Who do you think it belongs to?
Alright, I believe that this is the blood of...
He handed a ticket to someone, didn't he? Mr. McGill did? Yes, after all, this redemption ticket belonged to him. You don't think? You mean that during the incident on the omnibus? Yes, I expect so. It's a very clear print and no small amount of blood, so it must be a result from a fairly serious accident, such as he might have sustained on the omnibus. Wait, but if I remember rightly, no sign of injury was found on Mr. McGill at all. Oh. We're trying to work out who the blood came from. Yes, I suppose. Oh, come on. Well, what's the point of that? When we're just making random guesses. I think that's wrong. I mean, we have a dead man's name in it, so might as well. I'm not even using my brain at this point, to be honest. I'm really not. Because I'm just here to look for the stinking box. Excuse me. You don't sound very sure of yourself, the way you trailed off there. Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And of course I never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice Fired Mason. But that would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windy Banks yesterday. I'm suggesting the bloodstain was already on it at the time. So that smear of blood was the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. Oh my god, stupid order of operations, I'm telling you. We have the idea what we're talking about. There was a glove like that shown in the freaking thing. If we click on that one, that would have been a good... Oh my god. That's the third time throughout this playthrough that it's like the right idea, but it's not the exact moment that we're looking for. I had the idea going, but still. You sound like just Mr. Sholmes. Minus the quick slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right. Very well. Let's make a note of this. So it's Mr. Mason's blood. The blood analysis data has been updated in the court record. We have yet to find the box. We have yet to find the box. I need to jump out of my skin there. How can Mr. Windyvick set such a wicked trap? I doubt he set out to scare anyone. Can we talk about the freaking cameras that's here? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon. Oh. Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Didn't we just get the papers for that reason? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be their lawyer. Really? Did I say that? Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching. In that case, we had better hurry back to the president and talk to Gina again. Alrighty then. President we go!